In today's video, I discuss with you how new light has backfired on the governing body. For decades, the Watchtower organization has been defined by strict and unyielding rules. From not having facial hair to strict tracking of every minute in ministry. But recently, a systemic shift has occurred with serious consequences. If you have not subscribed to this channel, kindly subscribe and smash the notice bell. By doing so, you are helping us to continue bringing you more deep dives like this one. I am Dr. K and I'm a theologian. Today we are analyzing a pivot address by Jeffrey Winder, a member of the governing body. A talk that reveals more about how the new light has backfired on the governing body, exposing internal anxieties that they didn't intend to show. In this address, Jeffrey introduces significant changes on how the governing body intends to exercise its authority. He moves away from a myriad of laws and towards what he calls Bible principles.
What do the following things have in common? A compass, a map, radar, and GPS. Well, all of these things are tools to help people find their way, to give them direction. And they're designed for a variety of situations. Are these tools useful? Well, yes. We have all benefited from tools that give us good direction. But do we also need reliable guidance in charting the course of our life? Well, certainly. Especially now, we are living deep into the time of the end, where the world's morality is at an all-time low, when technology is advancing faster than we can keep up, and when the spirit of the world has never been more pervasive. Are we left without reliable guidance? Are we left on our own? Of course not. Turn with me, please, to this verse in the book of Psalms, and we'll read together Psalm 119, verse 105. Psalm 119, 105, it says, "Your word is a lamp to my foot and a light for my path." Yes, within the pages of God's word, there are Bible principles that guide us in every situation we might face. With them, we can make wise choices and arrive at our desired destination of pleasing our God Jehovah and putting ourselves in line for everlasting life.
Now, what is interesting is that these Bible principles have been discussed for quite a long time. In fact, the Watchtower's biblical teachings, based on the videos that they have produced, are always about Bible principles. Starting at 2 minutes and 5 seconds, Winder begins to list a number of adjustments that have rocked the community. The removal of hourly reports for publishers, the allowance of beards for brothers, and sisters wearing pants at meetings.
In recent years, when adjustments have been made in our organization, the governing body has avoided laying down a lot of rules, but rather provided Bible principles to guide Christian decisions. Think about some of the adjustments we've had recently. Publishers no longer report their hours or placements in the ministry. We've had adjustments in our dress and grooming. Brothers can wear beards. Sisters can wear pants. Brothers don't always have to wear ties in every situation. There's the clinking of glasses and toasting, our choice of education. In all these adjustments, the brothers don't give us a long list of rules, but rather principles to give us guidance.
Perhaps the most shocking to the long-term members is the softening of stance on the removed ones. At 2 minutes and 32 seconds, Winder explains that members can decide whether to invite the disfellowshipped individuals to a meeting.
We've had adjustments in how we deal with ones who have been removed from the congregation. A Christian can decide whether to extend an invitation to one to attend a meeting, or one can decide whether they'd like to give a brief but warm welcome when they come to the Kingdom Hall.
But here is where it gets more interesting. Between the rock and the hard place, the governing body seems to be admitting that these changes have created a crisis of discipline. Watch closely. At 3 minutes and 5 seconds, Winder explicitly voices out the organization fears. He asks rhetorically, might some do less in ministry because now we are not turning in reports?
But isn't the governing body concerned that without giving proper rules, some might make unwise choices in these areas? Might some do less in the ministry because we're no longer turning in a report?
This is a stunning admission. It reveals that the drive for ministry was fueled by the rule of reporting. And without it, activity has dropped. A few weeks ago, 2 Jehovah's Witnesses women knocked on my gate. Apparently, they had stopped for a long time, but it seems like they've resumed. And these women made an appointment with my wife and promised that on Tuesday, one of the ladies will come to talk to my wife. It is now more than 2 weeks. They are nowhere to be seen. He continues the litany of concerns at 3 minutes and 18 seconds.
Might some have too much association with ones who've been removed from the congregation? Or perhaps dress too casually or immodestly at the meetings or in the ministry, or groom our beards in a way that distracts? Might some share in toasting in some inappropriate way or occasion, or make unwise choices regarding education? Wouldn't it be safer to give clear rules? That way everyone would know exactly what to do. No one would take a misstep. Well, to be sure, laws have their place.
Now, this isn't just a talk about freedom. It's a transcript of a leadership that is worried that their trust is being tested by a membership that is finally inhaling.
Some matters are plainly right and wrong, and so Jehovah makes specific laws. Acts 15, abstain from blood. 1 Corinthians 10, flee from idolatry. 1 Thessalonians 4, abstain from sexual immorality. These are plainly right and wrong matters, and so Jehovah gives clear commands, specific laws. But these recent adjustments we mentioned do not involve matters that are plainly right and wrong in every situation. Circumstances come into play. Various factors must be taken into account. How can we say exactly what a person should say if they choose to invite a removed one to the meeting?
At 3 minutes 41 seconds, Winder asks a question that many lawyerists are likely screaming.
Wouldn't it be safer to give clear rules? That way everyone would know exactly what to do. No one would take a misstep. Well, to be sure, laws have their place.
The most critical analytical point of this talk happens when Winder bridges the gap between human policy shift and divine authority. At 6 minutes and 57 seconds, he asks if it is reassuring to see the trust and confidence that Jehovah shows in us by giving us principles instead of a myriad of laws.
But isn't it reassuring to see the trust and confidence that Jehovah shows in us by giving us principles instead of a myriad of laws? When we're young, we need rules, don't we? Don't run with the scissors. Don't cross the street by yourself. But as we mature and get older, we don't need those laws. It's sufficient for us to know that scissors are sharp and that there's heavy traffic. Well, Jehovah doesn't treat us like children. He has confidence that in a spiritual way, we can learn to be guided by Bible principles and make good decisions. And that's a tremendous trust, isn't it? Because our decisions, our actions, our conduct reflect on Jehovah's name. Jesus Christ made this clear in the book of Matthew 5:16. Notice the point Jesus makes here. He says, likewise, let your light shine before men, so that they may see your fine works and give glory to your Father who is in the heavens. Jehovah knows that the actions of his imperfect servants reflect on his name. But he doesn't give us a million rules to make sure we never make a false step. He trusts that we can be guided by Bible principles and glorify his name. And the governing body maintains that same trust. So then, how can you make sure that you are worthy of this trust and will please Jehovah in the way you conduct yourself? Recent adjustments call for each Christian to be able to identify and apply Bible principles. So how can we learn to be guided by Bible principles in all that we do and thereby please Jehovah?
You'll be shocked what Winder said at the end of this talk. So let's leave that for a moment. Now notice the strategy here. At 8 minutes and 27 seconds, Winder states, and the governing body maintains the same trust. This is the masterful use of conflation. This is where Jehovah and the governing body appear to be one and the same, such that psychologically and subconsciously, when you mention one, you've automatically mentioned the other. It means that if you disagree with these new policies, or if you take too much advantage of them, you aren't just failing a human trust. According to Winder, at 9 minutes and 16 seconds, these principles test the depth of your spirituality.
The Watchtower once said this. It said, while God's laws test our obedience, his principles test the depth of our spirituality and of our desire to please him.
In other words, these principles test whether you are obeying Jehovah. He is effectively saying the governing body's decision to remove the rules is God's way of testing to see if you are a good person.
Well, as we've gotten deeper into the last days and this system has neared its end, Jehovah has seen fit to make adjustments to the way we handle certain things.
Why change now? For decades, the strictness was a brand, but legal pressures, declining membership in the West, and the younger generation refusing to be micromanaged by 11 old men in 1 week have forced their hand. The backfire is evident in Winder's words. By moving to principles, they have alienated the older generation, who sacrificed their families, their careers, their futures, education, to obey the rules that have now been discarded as unnecessary. What was all that sacrifice about? They are asking. If a beard was distracting for 100 years, why is it sudden spiritual maturity today? The rock and the hard place. The organization is at a crossroads. At 14 minutes, Winder warns that likely there are more adjustments to come.
Likely there will be more adjustments to come. But we are never left without guidance on how to apply these adjustments and how to make our way through life. Jehovah expresses confidence in our ability to apply Bible principles and follow his guidance as spiritual men and women. May it be the determination of each one of us to work hard to be guided by Bible principles and thereby navigating our life in a way that pleases Jehovah and puts us in line for his blessing.
They are slowly dismantling the high control walls they built for decades. But in doing so, they are admitting that those walls weren't divine in the first place. They were human rules. If they keep the rules, they lose the youth and the courts. If they remove the rules, they lose the control that make them unique. And at the same time, lose the old generation who sacrificed everything to bring the organization where it is now. Jeffrey Winder concludes that these choices reflect on Jehovah's name. But as the reports drop and kingdom halls become more casual, the question remains, is this a new era of trust? Or is it the beginning of the end for the governing body's authority? What do you think about these adjustments? Are they the breath of fresh air or a calculated move that has already backfired? Let's know in the comments below. If this video has resonated with you, kindly do me a favor, like, subscribe, and smash the notice bell so that when we upload another video, you receive a notification. And also, by liking, subscribing, and sharing, you will help us to continue bringing you more deep dives like this one. To watch videos we've done on the collapse of the Jehovah's Witnesses organization, click on this link.